What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel where for today's discussion video I'm going to be breaking down and giving you guys my thoughts on everything that we so far know going into 2024 for Transformers Studio Series. But before I do so, I first of all just want to touch base with some newly announced third-party products, two of which do come from DNA Design. So the first is their DK46 upgrade kit. Now I do quite like the Scourge figure, but without a doubt after checking out the movie there are quite a few inaccuracies, so it's wicked that one of the biggest improvements will be a brand new head sculpt which looks incredible. You will also be able to completely remove the mask to reveal the true face of Scourge, and they will also be including some additional gap fillers and just some extra paneling to make him appear a lot more bulky, because in the movie he was nowhere near as lanky nor as spindly as we saw from that leader figure. So they've pretty much gave him an entire external makeover. The leg design now looks awesome. I am loving what I'm seeing from some of these images, and they also give us two brand new forearms. So for the humanized hand, the fingers are going to be fully articulated. He'll also include a brand new blade which looks way more accurate to the movie, but the energized electromagnetic claw looks brilliant. You'll be able to articulate this at two distinctive points. The entire inside of the claw is fully painted to match what we saw in the movie, and just as an extra touch they will include that kind of infectious disc that he ejects onto Airazor in the film, which I thought was such a brilliant touch. This really is a game changer for Scourge. I think he now looks excellent, and to be honest, pretty much like an entirely new figure. So definitely cannot wait to check this out. But as kind of a companion set to DK46, they've also gone ahead and dropped their DK49 pack, which, to be fair, is more of an upgrade kit for all of the Terracons, as first up included in this set will be a pair of brand new, much larger wings for Studio Series Nightbird. These look crazy good, definitely a lot better than what we saw on the original figure, and one thing which I love about these is that you're still able to transform her without removing them, so that's great engineering. And also included are a pair of two katanas. For some strange reason, Hasbro's cheap ass only included one, so it is really cool to see two, both of which are energized, which I think looks great. And then we check out some of the accessories for Battle Trap. So in the movie, in addition to the Mason chain, we also saw him deploy these machine guns, and I think he used these more than he did the Wrecking Ball, so these are so sick. They definitely do give you the impression that they have transformed out of his forearm, so that's brilliant. And then also included for Battle Trap would be his own dedicated chain accessory. So now finally somebody can give this guy a real fight, and all of these weapons can be stored on the back and the side of the truck to give you this really awesome weaponized look. So I'm loving the upgrades for Battle Trap, but that DK46 upgrade kit for Scourge isn't all that DNA Design are releasing for him, as also included in this pack will be a brand new interchangeable humanoid arm, and they will be giving him a brand new shoulder design, which again looks way more accurate to the movie. Cannot wait to get my hands on both of these upgrade kits. I mean, as you check out the comparison between the original Scourge, the DK49 kit, and then finally what happens when you combine that DK46 set, this definitely is a straight pickup. These are looking brilliant. And then the next piece of news I want to talk about is that we finally have some official images for Yolopark's upgrade kits for Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. So if I cast your minds back to their first wave, Prime and Bumblebee sadly didn't include any of their weaponry. They are correcting that mistake with their upcoming wave 2, as included with Cheetor, you will get two of Bumblebee's arm blasters and the battle mask, which I think is sick. It's going to make these look even better. I was so impressed with Yolopark's first wave. I cannot wait for their second wave. Now we can begin discussing some of those Studio Series 2024 listings. Now first of all, I very quickly want to touch base with the first wave, which has already been officially shown off. So we are expected to see a core class Mohawk, which recently it was confirmed that he will have actual jaw articulation, which I thought was brilliant because from the very brief glimpse we saw of him in the movie, he seemed to be quite emotive, so that's really great. There will also be a conceptualized series Rumble, and they did mention that this will kind of pave the way for some of those unused live action movie designs that we were seeing for Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. So I really cannot wait to see what they have up their sleeves. There will then be for Deluxe Class Wheeljack, which looks pretty decent, as well as Scorponok. Now on a recent live stream they did mention that the purple colour was meant to appear in the movie but then ultimately was cut, and it was only the green version that was seen. I really think this is something that they could have changed, because when these figures do eventually see a release, you know, January, February time, it would have been around 6 or 7 months since the Rise of the Beast 80s movie, and the colour change to Mirage's head seemed to have been made quite quickly, so I definitely think they could have changed him from purple to green. This clearly is just so they can make more money. You know, when they release the more accurate version, collectors who have already purchased the purple release and want the actual on-screen appearance will definitely double dip. So I do think this is a little crafty on Hasbro's part. For Voyager class, there is Junkie on Scrap Heap, War for Cybertron Gamer Edition Megatron, which I actually think looks pretty promising with the exception of his cockpit. Had that cockpit just been a tiny bit slimmer, I definitely think without a doubt it would have been one of the highlights from the Gamer Edition subline. And then last but by no means least, we have the Leader Class Bumblebee Movie Concept Series Megatron. Now this one I do want to go into more depth on because since the MCM London Comic Con announcement, more details have been revealed for this character and they're actually kind of crazy exciting. So basically this Megatron design actually had a full CG render created for him as he was supposed to appear right at the very end of the Bumblebee movie, completely frozen to kind of tie into the 2007 movie. And here we have it, the actual ILM CG design, and it looks brilliant. I mean, first of all, the Studio Series figure is very close to how he would have looked had he appeared in the Bumblebee movie. I'm really kind of gutted that they did cut him from the film, as it would have been so awesome to have seen him kind of in the closing of the B film. But design wise, this looks brilliant, you know, much like the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime and pretty much any of the Decepticons and the Autobots. A great adaptation from G1 into live action. We then have this second piece of artwork which shows this design partially coloured and it looks so insanely cool. There's also a scale comparison between Leader Megatron and B-Movie Prime. Now the scale and the difference is nowhere near as noticeable as what was shown off by the Yolopark scale chart, but he's still bigger than Optimus Prime, and considering he's a triple changer, I actually think this looks to be a very cool Leader Class figure. But that pretty much wraps up everything which has so far been officially confirmed. Now we're going to talk about some of the listings. So for core class, there will be a Bumblebee movie Starscream. I think it's kind of cool that they are carrying on the core class Bumblebee movie assortment because with the exception of that tiny Shockwave, we haven't really had any companion pieces to go along with him. So this is definitely going to be quite a cool and interesting looking figure. There will then be a deluxe class War for Cybertron Sideswipe. So this is part of the Gamer Edition subline. Sideswipe in the War for Cybertron game does have a very similar design to Fall of Cybertron Jazz, so I am hoping that his mold kind of paves the way for Jazz, as without a doubt I am way more excited for a potential Jazz than I am for Sideswipe. And then this one's really interesting. At the moment this is titled as being a Movie 6 Sunstreaker, the exact same code name that was given to the Bumblebee movie Megatron. Now Sunstreaker, much like Megatron, never appeared in the Bumblebee movie, so is this another entry into the conceptualized series? I definitely think it is, and I am so excited to check out his design because this concept series so far is looking so cool. But then there will be a package refresh of the Deluxe Class 86 movie Nor, so that's pretty cool for those of you that missed out on that figure. Then we get stuck into the Voyager assortment, and this is a pretty big character drop as we are finally going to be getting released a Voyager Class Bumblebee movie Shockwave. Really and truly the only on-screen Decepticon which at the moment hasn't seen a proper release for Studio Series. Like I mentioned before, we had that very tiny core class release, but let's all be honest, it was kind of quite random considering at the time they were making all of the other characters in their proper scale. So wicked to see this amazing design finally adapted into a Voyager. And then last but by no means least for Wave 2, the Leader Class will be the final Dinobot, an 86 movie Swoop. So I'm really excited for that one because so far those 86 Dinobot figures have been some of the best entries that we've seen for Studio Series. They've basically been mini masterpieces, and Swoop being kind of the last piece of the puzzle, I am so excited to check him out, and he is one of my favourite Dinobots as well, so I'm definitely pumped for him. Now we're going to get stuck into some of the Wave 3 listings. So for core class, we are expecting to see an 86 movie G1 version of Steeljaw. So a cassette companion for Blaster. That's definitely going to be kind of cool. There will then be a deluxe class War for Cybertron Infantry. Now this I imagine will be one of the generic kind of foot soldiers of the Decepticons. I'm really hoping that one day we can see some live action movie Decepticon proto forms. You know, some of those nameless Decepticons that were roaming around in the Dark of the Moon movie. Maybe they could have them transform into those protoform ships. That would be brilliant. But yeah, looking forward to this one. For Voyager class, there will be a Bumblebee movie Skywarp, so kind of rounding off the B-movie Seekers at this point. That's going to be awesome. I imagine it will be a straight up repaint of Thundercracker, just decoed in purple, and I love that mold. I really think B-movie Starscream is awesome. And then this is a really interesting one. There will be a deluxe class Transformers The Last Night Drift. Now, we have already seen a Drift release for Studio Series. It came out, I think, early 2019 and came packed with 3 mini Dinobots. So I am wondering if this is going to be a re-release of that figure without the mini Dinobots, or if they're going to go all out and give us a brand new mold. Because let's all face it, that Studio Series Drift was based on the Premier Edition Drift, which by today's standards isn't an amazing deluxe. So I am definitely hoping for a brand new mold, and this is quite an interesting one. To go along with this deluxe assortment will be the first Studio Series Reactivate figure, that being Lifeline. At the moment, we've only seen Reactivate characters packaged as 2-packs, and with the listing of this Lifeline, it does kind of beg the question why they never put Optimus Prime, Starscream, Bumblebee and Soundwave in the regular Studio Series line. But I am definitely looking forward to her. I've loved the Reactivate design so far. And then the fourth and final main wave for 2024 is scheduled to release in December, and it's a lot smaller when compared to some of the previous waves, but I think just as interesting. So first up for core class, there will be a Bumblebee movie, Frenzy, who I imagine will be a direct red repaint of Rumble, who at the moment is set to be released in the first wave of 2024 figures. Then we jump into the deluxes, and first up we're going to be getting a HM Megatron, which has since been confirmed to be a Transformers 1 animated movie Megatron. So this is really interesting for a few reasons, because it confirms that some of those Transformers 1 characters are going to be a lot smaller than what we're used to. You know, this is a Megatron that is the deluxe class, and I can't remember the last time we saw a deluxe Megatron. And then the next deluxe is kind of an interesting one. This at the moment is only being referred to as Deluxe Next Gen Bumblebee. Now, I have no idea what this could be. Maybe it could be a single release of the Reactivate Bumblebee. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Then for Voyager class, there will be a War for Cybertron Gamer Edition Ratchet. That's really cool because I loved Ratchet's design in some of those video games, and with his release, it pretty much confirms that eventually we will see that retooled, repainted into an Ironhide, who definitely is my favourite out of the two. And then wrapping things up for 2024, we're going to be getting a Leader Class 86 movie, Springer. Now this is really awesome because honestly, I loved the Voyager version they released for Siege. I thought it was so well done. It was super ambitious for being a Voyager release, especially as it did have 3 distinctive, pretty decent looking modes. But to take it into Leader Class, I am expecting something which is just as good as what we've been getting from Legacy. You know, Blitzwing was a pretty decent triple changer. Astro Train, I think, is one of the better ones that we've seen in recent years. So I am hoping that he is as good as those two. And that pretty much wraps it up for the regular main line of Studio Series. So there are some pretty cool characters that are scheduled to be released next year, but things are just about to get even more interesting in June of 2024. As a part of Studio Series, Hasbro will be dropping this Level A subline. Now, to my knowledge and the rumblings that are going on online, this is basically going to be where Hasbro have an entire separate line for some of their A-lister characters to be on shelves all year round. So you see it sometimes with Marvel, they have Iron Man, they have Captain America pretty much on the shelves all the time. That's what this Level A assortment is going to be. So as part of the first wave, it will be a Transformers 1 Optimus Prime, which sounds pretty cool. And then the next figure will be an 86 movie Bumblebee. Now, that one to me is even more exciting because it has been quite a long time since we've had a proper G1 Bumblebee figure. I'm excited for the Level A assortment. I'm excited to see as to what other characters find their way into that subline. Unfortunately, no news at all in regards to the buzzworthy Bumblebee, Earth Mode Hound, and Dark of the Moon Hatchet, which was shown off in October of last year. So it's honestly kind of crazy what happened to those two. I don't know if they've been cancelled, have they been postponed indefinitely? I guess only time will tell, but we have proper CG renders of their robot mode, so I would hope they would release next year, as I honestly thought they would come out this year. But I would love to get your thoughts on everything discussed in today's video. What do you guys think? Sound off down below, and until my next video, I thank you all so much for watching. Transform and roll out!